Wycombe Wanderers Show.
Welcome along to Season 2, Episode 1 of the Wycombe Wanderers Show. If you're listening last year, you'll know that I was counting them for the first sort of 5 or 6, then kind of gave up and then reintroduced the counting a bit later on in the series. Myself and Bob back with you. Great to have Bob along again for another season. It's not as if we've completed another signing, but it's not really.
Yes, although I understand that Lionel Messi was seen in the Eden Centre today, so make of that what you will.
Yes, or at least someone who looked very much like him. Coming up in the next hour, we'll be hearing from Chairman Rob Couhig, Director Missy Couhig, Manager Gareth Ainsworth. We'll hear from new signing Sam Vokes, also volunteer Lisa Bowker, and Ken Wilson, who is an ex-player who organised the golf event which kicked off the Wycombe Wanderers Ex-Players Association social events, the first since the pandemic. Since we were last with you, of course, there have been comings and goings in terms of players at Adams Park. One of the key ones, of course, Adebayo Akinfenwa signing his new contract, which was announced on Sky Sports News.
There won't be another one after this, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm 40 at the end of the season, this will be my last dance. But yeah, there is a few things. There is the wrestling, and there's a documentary in which we're sitting down talking to, and then there's sitting down with a couple of producers in LA. So there's a few things, and the punditry. But at the moment, you know, I'm a footballer, and less of the running, but I try and score as many goals as I can.
And comedian Jack Whitehall gave his backing to the club as well.
I think it's because it's so simple. You literally grow too much at certain times of year and you never know what to do with it. And this has given people that avenue to take your excess to provide to somebody who values it just as much as you do, but is in worse circumstances than you. And it's that simplicity that makes it work. And it's so rewarding for the growers as well to have some outlet for their passion, which is growing vegetables.
Always been
now working at the training ground.
What a club. Boasts not only the strongest man in football, aka the Beast, aka Akinfenwa, but also your manager has, without doubt, the most exceptional barnet in world football. What shampoo is he using? Such volume. Anyway, go out there, make that handsome manager of yours proud. Good luck, boys.
There we go.
Was that Jack Whitehall's mum?
That wasn't supposed to happen. That won't be in the that won't be in the podcast version, hopefully.
It's nice to know that it's live and going out live.
Absolutely, it all went so well to that point, didn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was going really well.
Less than 5 minutes in.
A fantastic first 2.5 minutes of the Wycombe Wanderers Show Season 2.
That'll be in the highlights at the end of the season.
Well, yes.
We touched briefly.
Already making a note now for highlights at the end of the season.
Move on. There's no need. Start a new page. No, it's good. I quite enjoyed that bit. That's something I'll look back on. That will haunt me. No, but we spoke briefly in the introduction, obviously, about, you know, what's gone on over the summer and some new arrivals. Obviously, a handful of departures, but some new arrivals as well, which is quite exciting going forward.
Indeed it is. And I think you've probably mentioned one of the most important ones already, which is Bayo. Clearly not a new arrival, but the fact that actually that he has signed for another season, the last dance, as he calls it. I don't think you'd hear many footballers, then say, oh, I've been speaking to a few producers in Hollywood. That's not something that footballers normally say, is it? But yeah, I think that's a very, very important signing just from that sort of morale point of view. You know, we saw last season actually that Bayo brings just as much off the pitch as he does on the pitch. And I think we're really, really going to need it this season for that promotion push. So I think it was wonderful that actually, yeah, we've managed to sign him for another season. You know, it'd be wonderful if he could actually get on the pitch and score some goals as well. But I think what he probably does on the training ground, and also in the dugout is just as important to Gareth and the Chairboys.
And at the pre-season friendly of Leicester last week, the revealing of Sam Vokes is a real great signing, I think.
I mean, that really is a bit of a statement of intent, isn't it? I think I probably wasn't the only one that was like, really? We signed Sam Vokes, 64 caps for Wales, you know, got promoted to the Premier League 3 times. Yeah, you know, absolutely brilliant signing. And for all of those who were possibly thinking, well, hang on, where are the goals going to come from? You know, straight away, hopefully that has answered that. And it will be absolutely brilliant if he could hit the ground running and, you know, and get a couple, on Saturday against Accrington, just to sort of calm the nerves, as it were.
And it really looks like Sully Kaikai could be an exciting option as well in terms of attacking.
He just sounds fantastic, doesn't he? Really, really excited to see him, to see how he fits in with the team. Again, it sounds like actually we are going to have a very exciting and, unsurprisingly, with the Gareth Ainsworth team, a very, very attacking lineup. And hey, that's what we love. As Pete Couhig has previously said, if you want to watch teams pass it around, well, don't come to Adams Park. If you want to see a lot of goals, then we're the place to be.
No, definitely. I think there's been a total of 9 altogether new signings in the close season, which is pretty good business, and there could be more to come as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think you've probably already mentioned the two that we will definitely see in the first team a lot. So Sam Vokes and Sully Kaikai. The others, quite a lot of them being talked about in terms of the development squad. But at the same time, goodness me, Anis Mehmeti last year, very much was signed as being a B team player, and look how well he did.
Absolutely. There's always someone, isn't there, sort of a breakout player, if you like. It might be someone who's coming in on loan as well. He'll be really exciting and getting the fans going.
Yeah, indeed. We've signed a couple of goalkeepers, which I think that's probably quite important as well. We do need a little bit of backup there. We've signed the fantastically named Max Ram, which is just a brilliant name for a defender. He's come in from Nottingham Forest. We have again the wonderfully named TJ Jabbar, who is a forward who has played international football with Gibraltar. Be interesting to see what he does, because clearly Gibraltar are one of those sides that they don't score very many goals internationally, but he has also played for Lincoln Red Imps, who are the leading side in Gibraltar, and quite often are in the Champions League qualifying stages. So it'd be good to see what he can do.
No, definitely. Really exciting prospect for the start of the season, which obviously kicks off on Saturday. And as part of that, there was an official EFL launch event, all 71 clubs, on Tuesday. And I was lucky enough to get down to Adams Park to see the Wycombe Wanderers version, where they also took the opportunity to present some volunteers who throughout the summer have been sprucing up Adams Park and the training ground with some training shirts. We'll hear from one of those volunteers as well. But first, caught up with Chairman Rob Couhig, who is over and especially excited at the prospect of fans coming back.
I got to tell you, we're here at a thing for our volunteers, and they have done a special job. They really have. The place looks magnificent.
It must really sort of hearten you as well that here are these people giving up their time and just for the love of the club.
I was telling them, in the States you wouldn't have this. I mean, some amateur clubs obviously, or a lot of amateur clubs, but for a professional club at this level to have this depth of fan involvement doesn't exist. And so it is heartwarming, and that's why we wanted to do something for them, kind of give back to them. You look at this field we were just talking about. It is special looking. I don't think you'll find a better looking field in the Premier League tonight. If you go out to our training grounds, you saw this little ceremony for the water boys. You know what they do? They come out at night and they literally water the field with the hoses and move them around. And my nephew Pete got him to do it, and under the condition it'd be a couple of days, 10 days maybe. They've been out there for weeks, and apparently he's trying to sign him up for the 5-year program. So it's great.
And it's so important for supporters to know about that as well, because they come to the games or just read the match reports even and not know that sort of behind the scenes work goes on.
And look, it's not just the volunteers, the other folks. And one of the reasons Missy came over this time is she wanted to spend some time with them, thanking our paid staff. It's like anybody else. You can do your job one of two ways. You can be paid and just go through the motions, or you can be paid and really give of yourself, and that's what our guys are doing. That's why I think we're really in line for a very special season.
And I think as well, supporters who obviously weren't able to come last season will be so impressed to see, on Wednesday night we saw this big screen for the first time, which is quite something. Hopefully you'll be showing films during the week, perhaps, or something. But that's so clear, and that even just small things like around the board, around the pitch advertising, and the Wi-Fi, and even the PA system sounds so much better.
Well, it is. It's you got to be careful asking me about it, because I will brag, but it is the finest audio system in a stadium now in the UK. We have the best Wi-Fi. Well, I don't know if we have it yet. They're still working on it, but they're close. A brand new safety system that's redundant in multiple ways. You look at those LED boards that go around. The only other club in the UK that has something similar is Manchester City that just put theirs in. So we are cutting edge. My goal is to have us be the most technologically advanced stadium in the UK.
That's fantastic for fans to hear that as well, to know you've got that ambition.
Yeah, you got to have a goal, and that's ours. And on the pitch, we're going to get back to the championship. And when it's all over, it's funny. We were talking about one of the differences between the English Football League and American baseball or football or basketball, and I've participated there as an owner. There, if you have a club and you're an owner, it's all about you as the owner. You know, you look at me, I own this, the New Orleans Zephyrs. But here, you quickly recognize you're a caretaker. Your only job is to make sure that you deliver this club when you leave in a better condition than you found it. And when you know that, it makes life easy.
And something that comes across so well as well is the fact that you're looking to enhance the match day experience for the supporter.
I love events. Remember, I'm not a huge soccer fan to begin with. I have learned to be. I now know all the positions. I had to go through the discussion last night. I said, I've been through all this, and we keep talking about a number 10. He should be up here. And they said, no, he plays back here. But I read Inventing the Pyramid. And so when you go through all of that, the number 10 used to be where I said he was. Now we've moved it back. But, yeah, it's fun. And I love the event, though. I love the fireworks. I love the bands. I love the families coming out with their kids and having a good time. To me, that's what my job's all about, putting on an event that you will remember 5 years from now, and hopefully you'll remember the score because we win. But regardless of the score, you'll remember that great time we all had when we went out to Adams Park.
And there does seem to be there's something special about this club, and I'm sure other clubs say it as well, but a real sense of community, and that's what you get, what fans have missed from coming to a match day. Yeah,
and you know, sitting next to your buddy who you've gone to a game with for 10 years, and you tell the same corny jokes, and you buy this, you know, you who's driving, who's not, all that, complain about the drive-in. You know, Couhig said that the drive-in would be easier. It's not. You know, there's a lot of things you can do that are fun.
I guess logistically it must be such a challenge for you. As you say, there's things to overcome. For example, that I know that the parking's been an issue, and that's been changed, and people's food sort of requirements, if you like, as well.
Right. Well, you know, I grew up in an environment where if you got a cold burger, you were pretty happy, and now you have Will with his fantastic food selections. Our fetch system is going to knock people out because can you imagine not standing in a queue just to order a burger? You know, you'll be able to order in advance. You go down, you pick up your bag, and off you go. What are you going to do with the other 12 minutes of the halftime? I'll tell you what you're going to do. You're going to watch the event we're putting on at halftime.
No, it really does sound a fantastic experience, and great that, as you say, you've introduced it to be cashless, which people don't like change initially, but I'm sure it'll soon come a time where...
It's funny, we had, because I think you all know this now, I listen to the fans, I don't mind talking to them. We had a lady who said, I don't want to use a cashless system. I said, let me ask you a question. Do you have a credit card in your wallet? Yes. Do you use it? Yes. Okay, how about you use it here? It's pretty simple. We went down on High Street the other day, having gotten a couple of complaints, and I was struck by how few people will accept cash on High Street. You know, even the vendors. So it is the way of the world.
I think that's what fans really appreciate as well, that you kind of get the club, if you like, and can interact with supporters and kind of achieve what they're looking for, really.
Well, that's how I have a good time. It really is. It's what it's about for me. I'm at a point in my life where I want to do things that are fun, that are important to others, and that we can look around and say, hey, we made a little difference.
And it really feels as well great that the fans are coming back after just the whole last season, also for the players to be able to experience the crowd, but also obviously financial state of the club as well.
I'm happy for the players, I'm happy for the managers, I'm happy for the fans. The fans are coming back. I'm happy for Rob too, because I love having the fans here. But economically, it's tough to do it if you don't have income. I don't know of any business that survives long term without its principal source of income.
So what's your overall feeling about the coming season? Obviously, I guess it's one of excitement of getting back in the Championship.
Yeah, we are going to go back. That's the goal. That's what everything is predicated upon. it's interesting perhaps for your listeners, but when Gareth and I sat down at the end of last season, and look, I was disappointed by the Derby thing. I am convinced that we were not treated fairly, but that is what it is. It's sort of like that. If you guys watch the game against Derby, we actually should have had a tie or a draw in that game, but they called back Horgan's score on saying he was there was an offsides, and he was not. But all that's part of sport. Derby will ultimately be found guilty of various things that would have allowed us to stay up. But that's in the past. So when we sat down with Gareth, I made this commitment to him. We may not be in the championship, but we're going to be a championship club. Everything we do out here in this venue is going to be at a championship level. Everything we do at our training grounds will be. We're going to make sure everything for our fans is at that level. Your players will be treated that way. And he said in return, you do that, and I'm going to give you a championship club. It's a pretty good relationship. And so I'm excited by it.
And he's really pleased, obviously, to be able to bring in sort of the calibre of players that he wants, especially when Sam Vokes was revealed on Wednesday.
I'll tell you a funny story. We're walking over here, and I'm excited by it. And some guy came up to us on the street and said to me, Rob, are you going to have an announcement soon about a new draw? And I said, yeah, you're going to be very pleased when you get Sam Vokes. And Missy said, no, you can't tell anybody, she said to him. The one thing we're not supposed to do is tell anybody yet. So, yeah, he's good. Sully Kaikai is going to be phenomenal. Josh Gowan is going to be, think about this lineup we're going to put. What people have a tendency to forget is over the last 10 games of the season in the championship, we were tied 6th. Over the last half of the season, we were in the top half. The only reason we finished in the bottom 3 is we had a disastrous first 7 games. Now, that's sport. We're responsible for those first 7 games. I say it only because look at who's gone and who we've replaced it with. I love Fred. I loved Addy and Uchi. But we're not going to be hurting because they're gone because of who we've substituted.
And what's your final kind of message to supporters as you kind of start this new campaign on Saturday, with fans back at the ground?
Come on out, enjoy it, see the differences that you have helped to make with this club on and off the pitch. You will have an experience that you will always remember fondly.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
To ask about the training facility, obviously a lot of people said that's improved massively as well.
It has, and that gets into what we talked about, Gareth and I. It's funny, getting transfers to come to you, getting young guys to sign on our development team. They are approached by other teams, obviously, and so what we wanted to do was to make the players' office, because that's what the training ground is, someplace they could be proud of, that they would want to go to. So, and Neil Peters did a lot of work on this, our chief of operations. He came in, and we came up with a plan so that from the time you drive into the training ground, instead of it used to be an open gate that some guy would undo at 6 o'clock in the morning, and there was the field. Now you come in, and there are the welcome to Wycombe Wanderers Barlow Road facility or whatever, and it looks first class. You get down, you got to have your bob to get in, or you can't get in because of the thing. We actually have a parking lot for the players and staff and visitors. Before, they parked on the grass that was out there. You go into the facility, and Pete created a brand new changing room for the players, for the first team, with showers and all of that. So it's a pretty significant addition. We wanted to clean out the place and make sure that we could have more room for our medical facility. We doubled the size of our medical facility. In order to do that, we had to do a new kit room and a new boot room. So we bought 2 and we put them on and added it. And then upstairs with the coaches, we used to have all the coaches in one room, plus Gareth had one. We now have 5 offices. Trying to think of the other stuff. We redid the developmental players' showers and locker rooms. we are bringing in a new media room. You guys will be happy. Because if you remember, you had to go upstairs, and it will be a building dedicated to it, connects to the main facility. So you'll be able to sit there and do the interviews, and you'll be able to see the players off in the distance. We'll be able to bring them to you easier. So yeah, it's a first-class facility, and we know that because one of the guys that we signed told us that one of the reasons he signed was when he drove up there, he said, "I never expected this at Wycombe. It's so much better than I thought." So it worked.
Yeah, it did. Last thing I was going to ask, the first time I came here as a media, I spoke to Matt, and it was all the 5-year plan. It's that obviously time's come now. Is there another 5-year plan, or is it season by season?
I'm not a 5-year plan guy. I'm 72 years old. A 5-year plan may not involve me, but no. I like to plan 2 to 3 years. I know what I can do this year. We're probably within 30 days of being able to predict within 3% our revenue for the year, our expenses for the year, and so we'll begin moving on to next year. I know what we want to do for next year already. We're deep in the negotiations on finalizing the build-out of our new training ground. And I know that sounds silly to people. Why would you go build a new training ground when you just worked on this one? It's because the next one's going to be truly spectacular, and it will be a showpiece. The other one we will be able to continue to use should we choose to. So that's part of it. If you look at what's going on with our developmental squad, that's the real strength of this place. We're going to start some guys, probably 4 guys who are in their late 20s, early 30s, and 1 guy who's approximating 40. But that's only about 25% of that starting unit, and none of the follow-up units. So of the 25 people, that's a little wedge. What we have is a lot of young guys coming up. There's a kid from High Wycombe on this club who is going to contend for playing time. So in my 2-year, 3-year plan, those fellows will have a great role. We will be self-sustaining financially, and we'll be competing in the championship. After that, Pete and I have talked about whether you go for it or not. Knowing us, we probably will.
It's fantastic to hear Rob speaking, isn't it, so passionately about his plans for fans.
Yeah, really, really good. We are in very, very safe hands. I've noticed on social media since the Leicester game that there have been a few fans, and only a few fans, to be fair, have been complaining about the price of burgers. And it very much occurs to me, if all we've got to complain about at the moment is the price of burgers, then
can't be doing too much wrong.
Exactly that. And I'd slightly say it flippantly, but actually I mean it quite seriously. That goodness me, we're so lucky with the owners that we've got, because if that's the only thing that we've got to moan about at the moment, then yeah, we're definitely we're on the right track.
Unless there's a player called Burger and we've paid an over exorbitant price for him. That's
you never know. I wondered if that was what was going on in the background that we could hear. That sort of like some negotiations to bring Burger to Adams Park.
We'll hear from Missy Couhig in a couple of moments' time, but Luke joins us for some poll news.
I have poll news. We are once again running the very famous of last season. Where do you think Wycombe Wanderers will end at the end of this season? Let's not talk about last season's, but your options are promotion playoffs, 7th to 14th place, 15th to 20th place, or the relegation zone. I'll be taking both your thoughts later on, but at the moment, promotion playoffs are winning by 76% of the vote. You have 18 minutes left to have your say.
Fantastic. On those political programmes where someone comes on and does the stats.
Yeah, I'm Jeremy Vine on a green screen, basically.
More from our fan launch at Adams Park on Tuesday, and fantastic to get the opportunity to speak to Missy Couhig, who's over for the first time. You may know her as a director of the club as well, of course, and been instrumental in bringing in some merchandising. Can be often found in the shop, especially on Saturday, and got a great opportunity to speak with her as well about, what's to come.
So looking forward to it. I think it'll be an absolute celebration on Saturday.
And a real great chance for them to see, having been away for so long, the improvements that have been made to the ground.
So many different things. the pitch is amazing looking, just number one. But then I think one of our favorite new items is the new scoreboard that is just huge. I can even read it without my glasses, so a plus there. And I love the boards that go around the side of the stadium. I like that. I must admit, I watch them sometimes when I'm supposed to be doing other things. But but it just everything from, we've changed out the register systems in the shop to try and improve the queues. We've changed out the process in the kiosk to go cashless and with the fetch system. So again, we don't have queues waiting for food. The village is bigger, and I just think everyone's going to be thrilled Saturday when they come and see all of the changes for themselves. Not to mention this room, the Woodlands, is spectacular.
It just looks so smart and fresh, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the first time I've been in here, so yeah, it looks really good. But I didn't see it before, so.
You've done a lot of work behind the scenes as well with the merchandise and what's available for fans.
Absolutely. So I don't know if everyone will remember, but I know some people will. Back in 2019, when I first came on the scene here, I had a lot of people telling me a lot of things that they wanted to see in the shop, and I was absolutely asking for everyone's feedback. I didn't know what fans would want to purchase, and so people gave me their wish list, and it was things like beach towels and baby bibs and dishes and dog leads, and every one of those is in the shop today. Of course, I have since gotten more lists from people, so but there's always tomorrow, so we can always improve.
So what sort of feedback have you had from supporters about what's available for them to get?
Oh, I think they're very thrilled. I think they're very happy. I've been in the shop yesterday and today, running the register, helping people with things, getting feedback, and so far we're a hit. So I know there will always be new things that people hope you can get this as well or that as well. And the beautiful thing about it is we can keep changing out the merchandise and keep it rotating so that we are always bringing something fresh and something new.
And the new away kits have been especially popular, the gold.
Absolutely.
And also the goalkeeper strips as well, the Mardi Gras theme continued.
Absolutely. And the pink goalkeepers kits as well have been flying off the shelves, which I wouldn't have seen that one coming. But it's very popular. The black and gold training top, I believe, has been our most popular item this week. So
with the map.
With the map. Mm-hmm.
Sort of keeping with the location, place and everything for fans.
Right. That one's been very popular this week.
Because something else, obviously, that you and Rob are really keen to enhance really is the sort of the fan experience on a match day as well.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I was just telling someone that, yes, I'll be in the shop this Saturday, but I also want to have time to go out and meet the fans and talk in the village and make sure that, I want to be part of the experience with you so that I know what you're experiencing, because that's the only way I can make it better, is if I see what you're seeing. So I'll be kind of floating between being a fan and being in the shop on Saturday. But I'm looking forward to it. Now, I must admit, not a beer drinker, so I won't be having a pint in the village. I know everyone's excited about the rebellion. I won't be having it, but we do have wine now, so I'll be okay.
And it's a real part of the atmosphere, isn't it? You're coming up to the ground, you can smell the burgers, you're meeting with your friends. As you say, you go to the village, there's live music, there's beer, and it really is kind of part of the match day experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had so much fun back in 2019 being part of that out at the village every time that we were here. Sorry to have missed it throughout 2020, but we all knew what was going on and that had to happen, but we're back and excited to be back. So,
did it feel like you were quite close despite being far away?
Well, we were involved every day, so while we were not physically here, thanks to the magic of Zoom, we were here literally every day throughout the entire year and throughout the entire lockdown, meeting with different people, whether it was, it's not a one-day event to get a new scoreboard up or a new pitch done, and we have lots of great help here, and of course Pete was amazing being here throughout. But every day we were either on the phone or on email for different items, trying to make sure everything ran smoothly. At the time we had very little web presence when we came on in 2019. Now, as everyone knows, I believe we have a full web shop. And so we actually physically had the merchandise moved from the shop here into a fulfillment center there so that things could be shipped out every day so people weren't waiting when they wanted a new football kit or wanted in a coffee mug or whatever the item was.
So coming back here now, obviously after the year sort of working but not being here, does it sort of bring it all to you? The last year's hard work?
It does. It's been great to see. It has. A lot of the things that I had ideas for and ordered, I've not seen physically until walking in this week. So it's been a lot of fun playing with all the new stuff.
Yeah. And is there anything new we can look forward to in the coming season?
Oh, I'm sure there will be, but you'll have to wait and see.
And just finally, what will be your message to supporters as the new season gets underway?
I hope you enjoy it as much as I plan to, because, I don't know how to word it exactly, but the family atmosphere that we have found here at Adams Park is so warm and so welcoming, and we are just thrilled to be part of it, and we're thrilled to welcome you back into your own home and into your own family. So we're looking forward to Saturday.
It's a real great opportunity to chat to Missy, and also to hear that beach towels and dog leads are so popular.
Yes, I'm sure that Colin, you will be going and buying your Wycombe Wanderers dog lead.
I really will.
Knowing what a big dog fan you are. Colin doesn't like dogs.
No, especially the big ones. But no, I'm sure if you're a dog lover, then Wycombe Wanderers dog lead is just what your pet would need.
I shall be going. I shall be buying 4 on Saturday, as we have 4 dogs here.
That's really.
Can you get?
Because anyone else would ask what you wanted with 4 dog leads.
Can you get? Is there like a home dog lead and an away dog lead and like the goalkeeper dog leads?
Oh, I should think so. Can you imagine the bright pink one or the Mardi Gras dog lead?
Because each of our dogs, they would like to have their own dog lead. They just don't want general.
If you've just tuned in, welcome to the Wycombe Wanderers dog section.
It's a new feature for the new season of the show.
Yes, first and last, hopefully. Still to come, we'll hear from Wycombe Wanderers manager Gareth Ainsworth and new signing Sam Vokes. We'll chat to volunteer Lisa Bowker as well. And a quick reminder that on the podcast version of this show, you'll be able to hear extended interviews with our guests this evening.
What about a dog lead training kit?
Online, on Radio Player, and on 106.6 FM. This is Wycombe Sound.
Second part of Season 2, Episode 1 of the Wycombe Wanderers Show. How do you feel it's going so far?
I think it's going fantastically well.
Thanks very much. The spontaneous...
It's made me laugh a lot, and it's been very informative as well.
I think the unplanned bits. Some things have happened in this programme which I never imagined would. Which, in a way, is a good thing.
Indeed, that's why we wanted to come back and do Season 2.
Absolutely. We thought, what can we do differently to last season? And we couldn't think of anything, so we just chucked in some different stuff anyway.
Indeed. We enjoyed the planned bits, but in a sort of like Badil and Skinner unplanned, ask your parents if you're a bit young. That was the vibe that we were going for.
Absolutely. So as mentioned, we were at a fan event, and a number of volunteers were in attendance who spent the summer and much of the pandemic sprucing up the training ground with cleaning and painting and strimming and all sorts, the training ground, as I say, and Adams Park, and they were presented as a surprise to them, I think, with the training tops, with the staff training tops with their own initials on, as a thank you from the chairman and from the manager for their contribution. And we caught up with Lisa Bowker, who is one of them, and was rather pleased, and has been volunteering since, I think, 2009. Here's how she got involved.
They did a weekend sort of like clear up before the season starts. So come down. Back then we didn't have strimmers, so we were scything the banks with scythes and shears, so you can imagine the whole structure all the way round. And then Alan and there was another guy called Graham, they were down here during the week painting the blue railings. I said, can I come down and help? Here I am, 8 years later, I'm still here.
And it's a real sense of community, isn't it, with yourself and the other volunteers as well?
Yeah, and we've got such a real special group, and some of them are not here either. Little Johnny Bartlett, he's not here today. And then we've got Emily Isaacs, who only comes when she's not working, and her brother who volunteers in the office, and others that come when they can. And so we've got such a real special... We all know what we're doing, we all get on really, really well. As you can see, we're a really close group.
And it must be such a special feeling to be here on a match day and see the sort of the fruits of your work, if you like.
Absolutely, and the way we always look at it as well is that we never take for granted what we're doing. We feel very proud and privileged to be able to do what we're doing, because how many other fans around the country do what we do? We were asked to paint the changing rooms at the training ground. We were asked to paint the new changing rooms at the training ground. I've been up there strimming today. We're painting all the boxes in the woodlands. How many other fans can say they've done that for their football club? And that's what makes it special, because we're obviously highly thought of, that they think we're good enough.
Because I guess people would say, you should be paid for doing this, but it's obviously that you kind of love doing it so much.
Absolutely love doing it, and it's about, when, like with Gareth today and Rob and Missy and Matt and everything they've done, we didn't know this was happening. We knew about these, but we didn't quite know what was going to be happening, and it's just nice to be appreciated, and the hours that you put in, and because we have done some long hours. I think the day before the players came back, I did sort of like 7:15 till 5 o'clock. So, just to make sure everything was ready for when the players come back. But we just do it because we love it, and we're just very privileged to be able to do it.
And especially during the pandemic as well. Coming over here, Matt joked that otherwise it's only sort of daytime TV, otherwise, which is no other option really. But it must have been so nice to be able to have that to focus on.
Yeah, I must admit though, because we had between the sort of like December lockdown for the 26th or whatever it was, through to when we opened up again in March, I'd emailed Gordon, who was stadium manager. I said, when can we come back, because we're coming out of lockdown? He said, leave it with me. So the following week we had the email to say we could come back. I was so nervous. I hadn't seen anybody for all that time coming here, and not because I was worried about the virus, because I wasn't, but and then of course the minute we're all back together, we're all back laughing and joking and getting on with things and doing things, and then the list got longer and longer. Can we do this? Can we do that? And it's just like, it's a privilege, and we absolutely love doing it. And when you do get to speak to the players or Gareth or Dobbo, it's just so lovely with us, and they're just really nice. I'm strimming and they're driving out and they're waving and tooting as they're driving out, and they're just brilliant.
I think that's what's really nice as well, when they know your name, or when they, as you say, sort of take the time to kind of really appreciate what you're doing, and especially today you have the chairman and the manager here to really acknowledge
that's
the work.
Really special, because as I said, we weren't expecting it. We've all sort of like huddled down there. What's going on? What are they doing? But so I'm strimming up the training ground, so I've sat in the car sort of like washing all the muck and mud and grass out my hair and trying to get all the muck from around my neck, because you get so filthy. I thought, well, nobody can see anything else, I'll hide it. And so I'm glad I did, actually.
And you must get that real sense of contribution, as I say, that you've really played a part in the players being able to come out onto this surface, or as you say, at the training ground as well.
Yeah, and for the new changing rooms as well. When some of the boys had been in there a lot while we were doing it, so you got the likes of Gareth McCleary and Alex Samuel and Jason McCarthy and Joe Jacobs in and out all the time, Dominic Gate. And they'd come in and they saw each stage that we were doing it, and it was sort of like, and then Dominic Gates said in his interview about what we were doing, and Jason McCarthy stood for ages chatting to me, what you do is brilliant, thank you so much. Matt Bloomfield's another one, thank you so much for everything you do. And you get that and you just think, I'm so proud.
And as just a fan of the club, it must feel so nice to be so close to the players as well, and the other staff too.
Yeah. I mean, we are one big group. I mean, I'm Gareth's sponsor as well, so I'm lucky enough to do that, and of course I'm on the trust board as well, so I do that as well. So, but on match days, unless I'm doing trust duties, I'm just Lisa fan. And screaming shout at the referee like everybody else.
That must be nice to be at those different levels as well, to have a sort of a say, if you like, and a contribution in sort of practically as well.
Yeah, that's what the trust board's about. I mean, we're still 25% owners. We still sort of like can influence certain things, and that's what we're aiming to do, because we're still part owners of the club, and that's where we're sort of like pushing for people to join us and come and be a part of it. So I'll plug for the trust there, but
no, definitely.
But no, it's the whole thing about this club is so different to any other club, I would say, in the country. And I've spoken to quite a lot of fans, and we are different, and that's something special. And to be a part of that, especially during the last 18 months, which has been tough for everybody. Some have got through easier than others, some haven't, but to know that we've got this to come back to, that you've got football to come back to, and it all starts again on Saturday with all those fans again, and we can go for the promotion again, and this time we can all party, we can all have that hangover the next morning and look forward to the championship again next season, because watch this space, it's going to happen.
I was going to say, it must provide such a sense of optimism, and especially the changes that we've seen at the club, even just in the time that Gareth's been here.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I mean, you just have this sort of like faith in him. He's got this way of making you believe. I mean, he could say that wall was purple and we believe him, but he does have that way. And you see him training with the players and the way he is with them, and so listening to it, hanging on to his every word. He's a great coach. The thing I'm going to put on his plaque, because I've sponsored him his plaque, and there's a quote that suits him. It says, a good manager can change a game, a great manager can change a life. And that's spot on with him.
Fantastic. I remember a story not that long ago about where he was buying a lot of the nets himself and installing them himself, and now obviously the club's in such a much better financial position.
Yeah. I mean, to be able to give us these training talks, which is really, really nice. So we've never had anything like that before.
I'm sure you'll wear that with a great sense of pride.
Yeah, I was just saying, I'm not going to wear it painting, no.
No, you don't want that covered. And have you got sort of a prediction yourself for how you think that this season will go?
100% promoted, and not playoffs. We would go straight back up.
Because last time we were in League One, it was right at the top for such a long period.
I know, and we're going to go straight back up this time, and then nobody can argue, because everybody argued last season we didn't deserve to be there. Yes, we did. And we are middle top end towards the end of last season, middle top end Championship club. The way that the results were going, the way we were playing, the new system, everything about us. If we can carry on that now, the new signings that he's bringing in, I've no doubts whatsoever. Absolutely no doubts whatsoever.
And can you see yourself volunteering for a long time to come?
As long as I can do it, I will do it. Even probably when I'm on my wheelchair or whatever, I'll still be painting lines or whatever. But as long as I can do it, I'll do it.
And if anyone else wants to get involved, I'm sure you'd welcome others to come along.
Yeah, if they go onto the Trust website, it's all details are on there, and then they can go onto a database and say what their skills are, what they can offer. And then the little group we've got in the week, if we need extra help, then we can call on them. And so there's always plenty for people to do if they want to come along and help us, and not just on the maintenance side, office side, match day. So there's plenty of opportunities for volunteers to do all that.
Great, Sachi. Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.
I was just going to ask, obviously the clubs must have changed so much in this last 8-9 years you said you've been here.
Yes, when I first came here, my first game was 2009, so I haven't been a supporter for very long. And Steve Hayes was still the owner then, and then of course we went up, came down, went up, came back down again, and then the Trust took over 2012, wasn't it? And then sacked Gary Waddock, and they brought Gareth in that September. So the difference then to what Rob and Missy and Gareth have put into place now is, I remember the rails over there, we had to paint them with what paint we've got. The dugouts, the old ones, I had some drain paint and some gloss, and I had to mix it together just so I could tar up the dugouts because they were rusty and filthy. We couldn't even afford the paint. And the likes of me and Alan and other volunteers, we've paid for strimmer bits or for paintbrushes, or we've supplied that just so that we can get these jobs done. We don't have to do that anymore, thankfully, but no, we've made sure that we've supplied what because we just didn't have the cash to do it.
Has that sort of been a bit of a whirlwind experience, then, that change, or has it been gradual?
It's been gradual, obviously, because as Rob took over, COVID kicked in.
Yeah.
So it's sort of but over the last certainly the last 6 or 7 months since we've been back, we can see all the difference that's going on around, and the jobs that we've been asked to do because they want to improve that. But if they get the volunteers to do that, they're saving money for us doing that, so they can put the money somewhere else. So if you've got the contractors in, that's not wasted money, but money that can be put to something else. So that's where I think we've been valued so much now, is that can you do that? Because we can save money there and put it in there, and that's the way it's been happening. And for us to be able to be a part of that, to have what we've got here now, that's just our legacy. This group of volunteers, that's our legacy. So whatever happens in the future, that's our legacy, and that is quite special actually when you think about it.
Lisa Bowker, who's a volunteer and on the Trust board as well, and very good with the strimmer.
Yes, and thank you to them for all that they do as well. They are very much appreciated as well, along with all of the people who work at Adams Park. We know that we are a small club, and that actually the volunteers do a huge amount to ensure that the club functions.
Yes, 2 minutes to go till the poll closes. Vote now. Your vote may not count. You may still be charged afterwards.
2 minutes on the poll.
You won't. you won't be charged at all, I don't think, unless you overuse your data or something. Anyway, also another thing that's happened in the last week or so, last Friday, was the Wycombe Wanderers Ex-Players Association Golf Day, which is something that has been able to go ahead after the pandemic. It's the first time that the ex-players have got together on one of their social occasions, and caught up with Ken Wilson, who is one of the ex-players and organised the golf event. And by all accounts, it went rather well.
We were hoping to have our regular sort of golf day where bigger numbers and going out, we're all mixing and shaking hands and all that sort of thing, and a big evening dinner and presentation. But when you got to think about it, we had to make it a lot safer. So it was a reduced golf day. We had social distancing, we're outside a lot. The weather was okay. We got soaked a couple of times. The weather was okay. And then we had a rolling dinner as people came in and a socially distanced presentation. But the main thing, it was a lot of fun, a lot of meeting friends I haven't seen for a long time, and a lot of laughter. And it was good golf. It was good fun. It worked out okay. It wasn't the normal day, but it worked out well.
Because I imagine normally when you stage such an event, it's great to get everyone back together again, but this time especially, it must have been so good to see people, as you say, that you've not seen for such a long time.
Yeah, exactly. I think that was part of the enjoyment. Everybody accepted that it was going to be a little bit different, especially when you looked at the weather beforehand. I was hardly sleeping the night before, thinking I was putting some of the older guys out in thunder and lightning, but it didn't happen. It was we got round, and I think everyone was really pleased to meet up with everyone else. Unfortunately, John Taylor was poorly on the day, and he couldn't make it, and he's a big part of the Ex-Players Association. But Alan Hutchison was there and always supporting in a big way, as he does.
So tell us some of the names that were in attendance that you're especially pleased to see and especially enjoyed the day.
Yeah, sure. We had about 18 ex-players. Kim Casey was the defending champion, and he played alongside Glyn Creaser in the morning. Mike Brown, who's in his 80s, Terry Glynn, Dylan Evans, Anton Burkhavs, Paul Birdseye, Roger Fieldhouse, Bob Donaldson, Martin Priestley, Keith Searle, Les Merrick, Keith Samuels. So it was a whole range through the years. It's very difficult. We've had Gareth play in the past, and also current players, but it's very difficult with the important pre-season times and the matches, so they couldn't attend this year. Gareth's been very supportive in the past as well, but it was reduced but very good fun.
And obviously the actual golf is a key part of the day, but we spoke to Kim not too long after he won his title last time, and he was saying, he hasn't had such a laugh in such a long time, and the camaraderie must be such a key part of it as well.
Oh, I'm absolutely, really pleased with Kim. Very good of him. He comes down from the Midlands. He had to leave fairly sharpish his drive back, but it was a big effort, and we always have a tradition that the champion tees off first, so we got some good pictures of that. And Kim was a great sport, really good. Great to see him.
And I'm sure many of you have come from obviously different locations, not all based still in Wycombe.
Yeah, not too far away. I mean, Paul Birdseye comes up from Portsmouth now, and a few others have some. Terry Glynn on the other side of London, Anton's at Oxford, so a fair few distances. But I think Kim was probably the furthest from. He lives up. I still think he lives up Kidderminster way.
And what was some of the feedback you got from some of the participants? They must have been so pleased to be able to attend.
Yeah, they were. I mean. Stuart Thompson won the main prizes for the second time, and Mike Knox, who was always the sports reporter in my day in the 80s and 90s, he got his team. He's always had a team, and they won the team prize. And it was just great fun. I think if you're an athlete or been an athlete, you want to compete, and so there was a bit of fun in there. But yeah, it was a lot of laughter. And a very, very enjoyable day. Winter Hill to be applauded. We've kind of made that our home now for the golf day, and they always put on a great show for us. Very cooperative, and it's comfortable and relaxed. So, yeah, very good.
And it must have really felt like a real kind of beginning again for the Ex-Players Association's events.
Yeah, it's been strange. I think that was a part of the conversation with everybody that hadn't been able to get out and compete like this. You could still play golf under certain restrictions from most of the pandemic, apart from the full lockdown. But it was just good to get out and see people you hadn't seen for 2 years a lot of the time. So it was a success from that point of view. We'd have liked bigger numbers, so no doubt about that. But I think we did well, all things considered. I played with Anton and Terry and Paul Birdseye, and there was always that immediate camaraderie when you get back together, and it was great to see them.
Oh yes, we should have asked about your round yourself.
Mediocre. I think I was worrying too much about everything going to plan. No, it worked out. And again, I played with Roger Fieldhouse and Rod Lavis, who used to be one of the groundsmen at Lokes Park and the new ground. So people that I've seen but never played with, and spending 4 or 5 hours with them was great fun. And hearing their stories as well. It's a great day. I hope we can get back to full operation next year.
And as you say, overall, you must have been so pleased to have been able to put it on, and that it was a success. Yeah.
As I said earlier, I was a bit spooked by the weather forecast the previous night. Local golf courses had called players off in the previous week with thunder and lightning, so I was concerned about that. But no, it was a relief and enjoyment. I think that was how I'd describe it. But we're back up and running. The ex-players up and running, and Alan and John have built a great organisation, so we can get cracking and aim at the dinner now, I guess.
And fantastic that the fans and obviously ex-players get the opportunity to get down to Adams Park to see the team in action again this season. Yeah,
that was the part of the craziness in the conversation, that in the championship season, and the team and Gareth and Dobbo have done so well, hardly any of us got a chance to see them, which was a sort of disappointment spread across most of the players as well. We'd love to have seen them and support them, but hopefully we can get back there and do that a lot more this coming season.
Online, on Radio Player, and on 106.6 FM. This is Wycombe Sound.
Final part of Season 2, Episode 1 of the Wycombe Wanderers Show. Great to be back with you. Might have mentioned that already. Colin and Bob with you, previewing Accrington Stanley on Saturday. Still to come, we'll hear from manager Gareth Ainsworth. But first, we might have mentioned that we were at the pre-season friendly on Wednesday. Drive time came from there from 4. We did a sort of Wycombe Wanderers Show abridged between 7 and 7:30. And then after the game, we spoke at length between ourselves whilst we waited for Gareth to come and chat to us, but also new signing Sam Vokes, who was revealed to the crowd, and you felt it just before kick-off, and you really felt quite a lift, because a lot of people, I don't think, actually knew it was going to happen, and we were fortunate enough to speak to him after the game as well, and he was very pleased to be unveiled, if that's the right word as well.
Yeah, hopefully. I felt it was brilliant. It was great to be part of. I can't wait to get going now. Watching the boys tonight is a great performance, and like I say, can't wait to get going.
Because the manager was asked on the pitch after the game how excited he was to report you here, and he said just as excited as you are to be here, which really shows, both from the club's point of view, but also from your wanting to be here as well.
Oh no, of course, desperate to get going now. First ever conversation with the gaffer a couple of weeks ago, and since I had that conversation, couldn't wait to get started. And it ended up dragging out a little bit, but I'm so happy to be here now. Can't wait for the start of the season now, and looking forward to it. And the crowd were brilliant here tonight, and like I say, the performance the boys put on showed our intent, I think, this year, and what we're capable of.
That must be something that really impressed you the most, the way they restricted Leicester, and the way that creating so many chances going forward and defensively as well.
Yeah, of course, and it's always hard to tell in pre-season games, because you never know what you come up against or what you do, but they put a strong team out tonight, Leicester, and I think we showed, like I said, our intent and what we are capable of going forward this year, and what we want to achieve.
And it must be really exciting for you as well to sort of take on the challenge of some of the team. We mentioned in August there's 7 games, and they come thick and fast, and the likes of Sunderland and Ipswich, and obviously kicking off against that as well.
Yeah, obviously, and it's a strong league. It's a great league, and starts next Saturday, and the games do come thick and fast, like you say, and the challenges come up really quickly, and I think coming into the squad, I've been in for a couple of days now, and the boys look ready and excited to go. And I think that proved it tonight in front of our fans as well. And hopefully they get to see the quality we've got and what we can do this year.
That's especially exciting, isn't it, about pre-season, is that you get, the new signings coming and you think this is a real kind of beginning of something.
Yeah, of course, and I feel that myself. Obviously, some other lads that have joined as well, but the experience the boys got last year in that year in the Championship. Obviously, I saw them when we played a couple of times when I was at Stoke, and you can see that belief and that true closeness they have as a squad, and that really reflects in the performances, I think.
I was going to say, what was it like playing against Wycombe, and what were your kind of impressions?
Well, I played the game down here, and with Stoke we managed to win towards the end, but I really felt that it was the only game last year where we actually had fans in the crowd, so it felt like a buzz around, and I think it was only 1,000 that night, but it felt like there could have been 25, 30 that night. It felt that buzzing, people having back in the stand, but it was it was a close game, and like I said, it was a tough night, and we felt togetherness from the group. I don't know, it's a weird feeling to try and explain, but I feel that now coming in as well, and excited to be part of that.
I was going to say, it must be fantastic to come into a group who are really kind of growing, but have had that experience in the Championship as well, and you can bring your own experience on that level as well.
No, of course, I want to bring the experience I've got, but also can't wait to get going as well, so a bit of excitement as well. I'm really looking forward to the challenge now coming in, and I think to be part of that group that have done well over the last couple of years, and they can only grow as a group, or we can only grow as a group, I should say, from the experience they had in the Championship last year, and so narrowly missed out on staying up, but hopefully we can take that into this year.
Sam Vokes speaking to Colin Besley after the 1-0 win against Leicester. Coming up on a Saturday, of course, Wycombe face Accrington Stanley at home. Colin has been speaking to manager Gareth Ainsworth, who is very excited about the return of the fans.
It's going to be awesome, Wednesday was brilliant, almost overshadowed the result of we just beat the FA Cup holders, and beat their strong team. So, but the result wasn't important. Seeing all the fans back, seeing all the different faces, and different coloured Wycombe tops throughout the years, and the kids running around, and I'm just all different cultures, all different people. Brilliant to see them all together supporting Wycombe again, and it was, and that's what it's about. The stewards, the staff, the fans. I said earlier today in an interview, when I grew up playing football, it was the games, the big games, the cup finals that you played in as a kid, which were at somebody's home ground where there was a stand, or sometimes on a Sunday league when there's a crowd there. That's what you play for. That's what you want to play in front of. So these boys playing back in front of fans again is all they want. It's all they ever wanted to do as kids, believe me, because I was one of them. And to have them back will be super special. Can't wait for it on Saturday. Honestly, I can't wait. And I hope to send them home happy, whether that's performance or result. But we aim to be competitive this year, and that's what it's all about. But great to have them back, and can't wait to hear that roar when the boys run out.
It must have been a great feeling for you to come out through the tunnel on Wednesday night compared to last season in the Championship.
Yeah. We had 1 or 2 games with minimal fans here last year, and just to see the faces, like I said, hear the roar. It was 18 months of frustrations of watching the internet, I think, and watching the Football League highlight shows with no fans on, and just brilliant. Can't wait to see them Saturday. Can't wait to hear the songs, hear them appreciate their new players, their new signings, their old heroes, and like I say, fingers crossed we can send them home happy. Accrington will have something to say about that, but I intend to go for the win, and it's going to be the same for 46 times this year. We want to try and be up and amongst this promotion mix-up at the end of the season, and there's no secret that Wycombe have had a bit more money than ever to spend, and we've learnt quite a lot from our Championship escapades last year, but we're really looking forward to Saturday. Kicks the season off. This game really means something, and to have the fans back there would be super special.
Do you think that the players will be at an advantage, if you like, from, as you say, what they've taken from last season, playing at a higher level? Yeah. You can't do what we did last year and finish the way we did without learning plenty about yourselves, about your opposition, about each other, and I think that intelligence-wise we'll probably have gone up a few levels. Physical-wise, you're very similar.
similar all the time. You are who you are. But I think intellect-wise and seeing the game, it's the old adage, isn't it? Of to get better, you must compete at the tougher levels, the higher levels. That will improve you. And I think competing at the higher level, at the tougher level, has improved us. And some clubs obviously fall into the trap of your Yeovils and your Stockport counties and people like that, and going back down through the leagues. And I think that's been bad infrastructure rather than players. I've kept the majority of players with me. I've lost obviously 3 big ones in Addy, Fred and Uchi. Josh Knight going back are hurt as well, but Josh Scowen, Sully Kai, Sam Vokes coming in, I think the names are very welcome here, and I believe that we're as strong as we have been. And I don't think myself and Mr. Couhig are done yet on the transfer window. There's a month to go yet. I want to try and get the squad as strong as possible, but I'm very happy where we are right now, going into Saturday's game with a decent side. 1 or 2 injuries, but a decent side, and looking forward to seeing what we can do against Aki.
We spoke to you on Wednesday and saying how having Sam sort of revealed to the fans really gave a lift, and you read the next morning, so what a statement of intent this is from Wycombe. That must really please you. Yeah, and he's already been tipped to be up there for the Golden Boot in League One, which is phenomenal. How many times has that ever happened for a Wycombe Wanderers striker? So especially in League One, the league that this club's been trying to get into for 20 years. But no, really pleased. Looking forward to seeing Sam out there, like I said, as well as the old hat as well, Aki Fenwers and Bloomfields and Jacobsons of this world. We'll welcome the Vokes and the Kaikais with open arms, and we are Wycombe, we're together, and like I say, can't wait to Saturday. And a real sense of discovery throughout the season as well. Last season, for example, Anis really kind of broke through and did so well. Yeah, and what a player that boy's going to be. It's a real pleasure to have him again. I'm sure we're going to see those twinkle toes on the pitch at every opportunity. He scored some fantastic important goals for us last year, and in training he's already firing well. There's too many to mention at the moment. Just really looking forward to getting the first ball kicked and hearing the first cheers from that fantastic Wycombe crowd. And how do you assess the preparations, how the pre-season preparations have gone so far? Yeah, like I say, we've had a couple of injuries. Contact, which you always get, every club gets, and that's why you have the squads the size you get. No, all in all, I think we're fit. I think we're in good shape. There's still 3 days left yet to get some sharpness into them, to get some more tactical nous and set pieces and all the things that are very important. But the first month is always that little bit of a learning month as well, about the pace of the game, and maybe they've forgot how intense it can be. It's my job to remember them and remind them and make sure they're up for this from the first minute. We've got 5 games in 2 weeks. It's going to be a real busy schedule at the start, with Exeter and Wigan on the Tuesdays and Cheltenham, and I think it's Sunderland, is it, on the Saturdays after Accrington. So real tough schedule, but we've been here before, we've done well before, and I intend to do well again. And the new signings have settled in well? Yeah, really well. Nobody could ever not settle well at Wycombe Wanderers, honestly. All the hype and everyone that says everything about, there's no club like Wycombe, everyone says, there is. Everyone says that about their own clubs. Believe me, there is no club like Wycombe. I've never seen it. There's things that go on the inside that I can't go into because, the personal stuff with a lot of the players and that, but there is no club like Wycombe. There's no squad like this one. It's a real brilliant place to be, honestly, and to get through the door, you've got to be a special kind of person, and to stay and achieve with this club, it's just awesome, and I couldn't have a better bunch of boys to coach, and like I say, I always love my job and won't take 1 second for granted. Because obviously you've been here a long time, and you've had many a start to the season in your career, but it still feels quite exciting, doesn't it? Absolutely. Sort of kick off a new campaign. Yeah, absolutely, I'm buzzing. Honestly, you can't every morning get up and feel the luckiest man in the world, and bounce into that training ground waiting to improve other people, and what a job, and to inspire, to improve, and you've got to enjoy that, and I've enjoyed every minute. I've got great backers, great fans, great players. Hopefully I can have a great season. Time will tell. And I'm sure you could insert any team, but a tough start on Saturday. Any team would be a tough start. Yeah, they're all going to be tough. League One's been a very big spending league this year, and I think that any team we play is going to be a tough game. There's some big spenders in Wigan and Ipswich, but there's about 7 ex-Premier League teams in the league now, and we're playing one of the teams that have
again upset form books regularly. John Coleman and Accrington Stanley, don't underestimate them. We certainly won't do on Saturday.
And just a quick word on the volunteers, because obviously it's fantastic the improvements that they've been able to bring to both the ground and the training ground.
With all the investment we've had and with all the hype and all the championship stuff that's surrounded the club, we've still had one core group that's been here from day dot and way before I was here, and hopefully not too soon in the future, but I'm sure they'll be here after I go. But the volunteers, the Wycombe Wanderers, who bleed quarters, I think, if you cut them up, and they're here for the cause. They're painting, they're trimming grass, they're hammering nails in, cleaning benches. What they'll do is endless for this club, and they do it for nothing. They do it for the love of the club, and we're having a little celebration today, which is Tuesday before the Saturday, just to say thank you to all those people, because they have been phenomenal for this club over the years. And like I said, thank you to all the volunteers, thank you to all the fans, and hopefully we'll be saying a big thank you at the end of the season, saying what a great year it was. But we're about to start it, and a long way to go, so hopefully we can put a smile on everyone's face.
Thank you so much for your time. All the best.
Cheers. Thank you.
Yeah, is there a target for this season, or is it just?
No, it'd be great to be in the shake-up at the end of the season. No, I think that's got to be something that we have to say. It would be great to be in there. There's some huge spending teams. I think there's budgets that are eclipsing championship budgets in League One for the first time in a long time, which seems to have been given an endless purse to get up, and Wigan again seems to have found some cash. Portsmouth, Sunderland always strong, so it would be great to be in amongst that, and to talk about Wycombe Wanderers being in amongst that group is brilliant. So that's the target, to stay with the pack, and you never know.
Great way to start the season, and great to hear from Gareth, and to Rob and Missy, Sam Vokes, Ken Wilson and Lisa as well. Quick poll news.
The poll news is, social media says, promotions and playoffs. So that's what they've gone. 76% of people saying that. Colin?
We're going for actual positions.
Actual positions, yeah.
So I'm predicting third.
Bob?
Second.
Second. And I'm going to go fifth, just to be different.
Oh, you've changed it.
I've changed it. I'm feeling more positive after listening to the show.
So in the
automatic promotion, it's the only way.
Oh yeah, you don't want to be in the playoffs.
No.
So Gareth said in the shake-up, which I quite like the idea of being in the shake-up. Who doesn't want to shake up? Back next week at the same time. Don't forget to check out the podcast as well. Thank you very much for listening.
And look out for those dog leads.